Taoiseach and the Chancellor of Germany giving that joint news conference there in Dublin following several hours of talks today. And what I'd like to do now is to get some response to that and indeed a take on the position in Ireland. We're going to talk to Noelle Connell, who's the Chief Executive of the European Movement Ireland, an independent organisation working to develop the connection between Ireland and the rest of Europe. And she joins us from Cavan on the border between Northern Ireland and the Republic. Noelle, thanks very much for waiting patiently to talk to us. The Taoiseach there very clear that if Mrs May goes next week to ask for an extension, there needs to be a credible and realistic reason for it. How hopeful are you that that is what's going to happen?
Well, Hugh, I'm always hopeful and I'm a bit of an optimist. However, I think the very warm words expressed there by the Taoiseach and the Chancellor have underlined and reinforced how the EU is willing to grant an extension, will be flexible, but cannot allow any extension to continue uncertainty and disruption, because what we need is clarity, we need a clear way forward, and we need progress on the negotiated and agreed withdrawal agreement to prevent that disorderly no deal, that disorderly crash out Brexit, which will have such a dangerous and potentially catastrophic impact on the island of Ireland, and particularly here in the border region where I am at the moment.
Very much. When we heard the Chancellor speaking, that she, frankly, is not going to leave any stone unturned, is the kind of thing she was saying. She wants to prevent a no-deal Brexit at any cost, simply because of the damage that it would inflict on, certainly on Ireland and on other parts of the EU. Do you take the view that if the Chancellor of Germany is against a no-deal Brexit, the chances of it happening are pretty much nil?
Well, I think, Hugh, what's fair to say is it's not just only the Chancellor of Germany that's against a no-deal Brexit, it's the entire EU, as the Taoiseach and the Chancellor outlined and reinforced the unity of the other EU 27 member states. And I also think the House of Commons, Prime Minister May and the British government are also against a no-deal Brexit, as we have seen with the votes. What is needed now, we're coming up to, I suppose, extra time in the last minute of the rugby match, and we need to find a way forward. Westminster perhaps needs to find a consensus, and that cross-party consensus approach that we are seeing finally coming to pass and develop is very welcome. But that remains, the clock is ticking, and I think that challenge is there. What we have seen is the strong element of support and solidarity with Ireland over the last number of years. It hasn't wavered, nor will it be as we come down to the final hours. But everyone is hopeful for the least worst outcome and to mitigate the potentially damaging impacts of Brexit, because it's not just the Irish-UK border, as the Taoiseach and the Chancellor outlined. It's the EU's external border, and how do we cope with the challenges and also the objectives of maintaining and upholding the Good Friday Agreement, which guarantees peace on the island of Ireland, and also protecting the integrity of the EU's single market and customs union, which is so vital to ensure the effective functioning economy, both north and south.
Noelle, good to talk to you, and thank you very much for joining us today again. Noelle Connell there, the CEO of European Movement Ireland, and the news conference, as we've